Hey folks, this is your instructor Dan with demo number 3. Sorry I'm limited to 15 minutes. I thought I was going to get them squeezed into 2, but in particular things were a little ragged at the end there, I think, with my editing demo. So I'm going to go back through this again for you and demonstrate the point, line, and polygon editing. And so for starters, points on the surface are super simple. If you're interested in, just dropping a point at some location, you're simply locating the spot that you want the point to fall, and you're clicking somewhere on the map. Okay, but one slightly more specific way of doing this is to right-click and choose absolute XY. And so this is going to look for coordinates that are in the spatial referencing that you're working from. And so I have a couple of sample coordinate pair here. I'm just going to copy and paste these values in just to illustrate this. So if you have coordinates that could be pulled from a GPS unit or other, and we'll go ahead and I don't know why this lady's face comes up on my Skype. I've never heard of her before. Skype is a software that I have installed here. Let's see. So we were in ArcGIS, and we'll paste these coordinates in, and then if I just hit the Enter key, there we drop that sample point at that specific coordinate location. And of course, your points are selected by default when you add them in. So if you want to, you can clear the selected feature. In this case, might be helpful to have my point features a little more visible. So there they are, shown in green. And again, I've pulled up some more accurate imagery to demonstrate things. I do have a line feature which I've added in. So I want to go ahead and add this in. This is not something I'm going to necessarily test you on, but you'll notice how the lines don't appear here, and that's because there is not a template that's been established. So you can choose this sample template, and once you do this, you can say create new template from sample line. You say finish, and lo and behold, line now appears. I bring up my line construction tools. For the most part, I just had you, drawing these things. You guys did learn how to use the arc tool, and so, for example, I could finish this part of the sketch. That's a straight line stretch of road. I'm doing road center lines here. If I do a endpoint arc segment and I finish at the other side of this, now all of a sudden I have the ability to create an arc. Since we do like to have smooth arcs, and this guy is going to try to create a, let's see if I can pull that guy in there. That looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and double click that. Now I finished the sketch inadvertently by double clicking that, and I could just come and continue. You'll notice the way it's snapping into place. Remember that you do have a snapping toolbar that you can bring up that shows you that by default, it's, so you do want to be conscious of your snapping. In this case, I'm actually creating a second feature. And so if I, remember that when you see these vertices, that means you're in an active sketch. You can double click, or you can simply say finish sketch. So in effect, I've created two different features. Now this probably makes sense in this case because these are maybe different road names, and so we'd like to be able to name them differently. But we would also have the capability to merge those if we chose to do so. Now in this case, I'm going to create this next arc, and again I want to make sure that it snaps, and so you'll notice that it's snapping in this case to the arc. In some cases, you might actually want to force a vertex at this point so that you would only snap to a specific location. And Oh, I see. I still have my arc tool up here. I'm going to switch that to straight line segment. Let's go back and do that again. Again, you can see how I have to sort of make a judgment call, whereas if I would have snapped or laid a vertex down at this point, I could make sure to snap to that specific location. So again, you always want to make sure, in this case I'm still in an active sketch. It looks like actually I started a new sketch, so I'll just say delete sketch. And there we go. I'm going to go ahead and clear the features again. Let's go ahead and make the roads nice and visible there. Okay, so we've got those. A little bit of a potential thing that you might want to edit over here. Again, I've got my active sketch tool going here, so I could simply right click and say delete sketch, and now I can choose another tool that I might work from. And so that gives you just a little sense of the line editing. I want to move into talking about polygon editing, and there's a couple different things I want to show you with respect to editing of polygons. You can see that most of the houses in this case are actually going to be sort of complex polygons. So if I choose my sample poly layer and I choose my polygon construction tools here, a rectangle, would make sense if I was digitizing something like this. You can see that I have the ability to sort of specify. I'm not very happy with the way that polygon came out. I'm going to delete that, zoom in on that feature a little bit closer, grab my rectangle tool, do my best to set a nice straight line across the top. And once I've done that, now I can choose the area that I want to show. Let's make this these polygons a little more visible. Do something even brighter than that so you can really see them. Now you'll notice it almost looks as though this polygon ended up with a slight angle to it. So one of the things that you can do when you're setting up something like a rectangle polygon is you can set your first point, and once you've done that, you have to keep in mind that your context, your real capabilities come into this when you right click your mouse. And so in this case I only have two options. Do I want to set the next point at an absolute XY value, or do I want to set a direction? And in this case, if I set the direction at 0, okay, now I have actually ensured that this is pointing in a perfectly horizontal direction, which is something that you want to be able to do, because in some cases you'll be given directions for where those polygons will, at least one side of the polygon will show up. Okay, so if we were to digitize something like this polygon, obviously this is a complex polygon, so we could simply come through here and digitize this and try to be as accurate as we can on digitizing the location. It's funny, I noticed this on my earlier demo. I'm not sure if I am inadvertently double clicking or if my mouse is not behaving properly, but I seem to be prematurely creating my feature. I'll use this as a learning opportunity here and show you how you can edit an existing polygon. So in this case, I'm going to grab the editor tool, or the edit tool, and if I double click on the polygon that I'm working from, now I can actually see the vertices that I have, and I'm going to zoom in on these areas. I have my toolbar, I can zoom in here. Yeah, things are acting a little wonky here, I'm sorry. Not as clean as I would like it to appear. Let's go ahead. There we go. We got it back. So let's try that one more. Yeah, I'm definitely having odd mouse behavior going on. This is why my digitizing is not working as well as it could. All right, let's see. Let's zoom to the layer. Try that again. Zoom to layer. Okay, that zoomed me way out. we'll try this one more time. Let's see. Oh, yeah, boy, something is off. See if I can work from my keyboard. Zoom to layer again. If I can grab the zoom tool, and yeah, that's working out. Okay, there we go. So this is where I was trying to operate from. Okay, so if I zoom in on the corner of this, I could come in and say, all right, well, go back to my editor tool, and I'm going to go ahead and grab a hold of the vertices. There they are. And now I'm operating in this window, and I could come in and say that I want to insert a vertex, and that vertex I might determine its location to be here, and I could insert another vertex. Again, this is sort of a clunky, not a clunky way to do it, but a little bit more of an advanced editing in terms of doing the vertex editing. And I don't expect you to be able to do a lot of this sort of editing, but take advantage of the fact that my polygon needed some editing to demonstrate this to you. Get my editor tool back, put my vertex tool back again. I'll insert another vertex, and I think my polygon will be able to end somewhere around there. And I'll go ahead and double click that, and we'll zoom out, see how that thing looks now. Not too bad. Now, a cleaner way to do this, if we want to ensure that we have nice square polygons, is to use the parallel and perpendicular tools. And I prefer the feature construction toolbar to do this from, although you do have the option. If you notice here, if I want to make a perpendicular line, it says Control E. I need to hover over the line, and then I hit Control E, and now I'm drawing a perpendicular line. Okay, I can hover over the line. Control E is going to make it perpendicular. Oops, the wrong button there. So I would hover my mouse, hit the Control E button, and missed it. Let's try that again. So we're going to make a perpendicular segment. I tell it that it's going to be perpendicular. I hover my mouse, I hit Control E, and now I've created a perpendicular line. Now, the feature construction tool lets you do the same thing, and parallel and perpendicular depends on what your objective is. I'm just going to stick with perpendicular. So I'm going to click on the line I want it to be perpendicular to, and there's my next line. Okay, and you just continue on around as such. All right, so the last thing that I want to show you here, I'm just going to go ahead and finish this guy out. And notice that you can do a square and finish, which is a nice option. The last feature I want to show you, well, there are two things I'll show you. One is don't forget about your attributes. So you can enter your attributes in here, and I'm going to claim this house, and I'll give it a number in my attributes. You notice it shows up on the tab below. So the last tool that I want to show you, I'm going to go back to feature construction, is the autocomplete polygon, and that'll be under your polygon tools. There's autocomplete, and I'm going to use it to close out and add this last feature, or this sort of ancillary polygon. And you'll notice that what I'm doing is I'm completing the polygon using the, I don't go all the way back around because I want to use that wall and make sure that that is a coincident boundary. So now that I've done that, again, I could obviously square it off, make it parallel or perpendicular, and that would clean things up a bit. All right, well, that's my editing demo for you. And again, a lot of things we're covering here, so you'll have to create some feature classes, do a little bit of editing, edit a few polygons, a few points, some lines, add attributes. That's going to be pretty much what you're dealing with. So that's it. We'll see you in class on Tuesday afternoon. Have a nice day. Bye now.